Did you know that Case and Huff and Schlieder has been servicing customers in the tri-state area for nearly 100 years? As an independent insurance agency, they have the flexibility to find the right value for your business, farm, and personal insurance needs. Case and Huff and Schlieder is a locally owned agency. Their agents and support team are ready to help. Give them a call or find them on Facebook. Case and Huff and Schlieder, proud sponsor of the Muddy River News Business Spotlight. Welcome to Muddy River News Business Spotlight. I'm Bob Goff, and it is brought to you by Case and Huff and Schlieder Insurance. My guest today is Dan Asbury, and he is the President, CEO, Chief Poobah at Royal Printing. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here.
You are kind of a special breed because you have a business that has been in business in Quincy for more than 100 years.
That's correct.
That's pretty awesome.
1912.
1912. And talk a little bit about, we're going to go through the history of it, but I think, printing is one of those industries that has just gone through, obviously lots of things are going to change in 100 years. But printing, it went from, you guys would do everything, people would bring you jobs, then all of a sudden everybody got a laser printer at home and figured they could do it themselves and they'd still screw it up. Talk a little bit about the evolution of your business.
Well, when I bought Royal in 2001, it was basically a two-color shop. Okay, half-size two-color shop. There was another local competitor in town that was a four-color shop, but that's the way they modeled themselves. My plan was to accelerate the process to get to a four-color shop. We couldn't do it in the location we were at the time at 514 Jersey. With great help of former Mayor Schultz, we sold that building to the library, or to the city. It's now the parking lot with the geothermal system for the library under it. And we moved to Ellington Road out in the county, out in the Shortridge complex. So at that point, then we bought a four-color press, and not only the things that you talk about have evolved, but the internet has been a big player in our business, and lead times are shrinking constantly, and now we face digital now, so quantities are really kind of compressed now in quicker turnaround times. So that's kind of how we evolved. We're full color shop. We are the only full service commercial printer in town with facilities in town. There are what we refer to as imposters. With the internet, anybody can do what we do.
Sure.
All we really sell, Bob, is service.
Right.
Okay, we just happen to be a printing company.
Being we're on the opposite side of your spectrum. We're about 6 months old here, not 109. But I think that is the one thing that people, when people talk about doing business locally, that is the key to it. It's the personal relationships, it's the service, it's the turnaround time, it's the, there's something a little bit wrong, hey, I'll get that fixed for you, no problem. That is what you get when you deal with a local company, as opposed to just pushing and clicking and sending something to Atlanta or somewhere.
That's correct. And also you're supporting the community with paying taxes and real estate taxes and all that stuff. So, loyalty is another thing that's kind of waned with the internet. Fortunately, we have some very loyal customers, but it's hard to retain that loyalty anymore because sometimes, you can lose a customer for a nickel, Right. It's just kind of the way it is right now.
And when you look at and going back to 1912, there was a printer on every corner, wasn't there, pretty much?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Well, even when I came to town in 2001, which is when I bought Royal, there were many. Okay, in 2013, I bought Modern, which was owned by Don Gardner, and then
was that located over on Jefferson?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, Dave Reese and Kevin Curran bought that.
That's right. Okay.
From Don, around 2000, I think. I bought them in 2013. and so we tucked them in. We kind of use Quincy. We kind of use in the hub and spoke model. Okay, Quincy's our hub. We bought one in Pittsfield, a small, very small operation, and we don't maintain any production facilities there. In 2018, bought one in Macomb, and we retain that as a digital location. We do all the offset work in Quincy. And in 2018, also, I bought one in Wood River. So we're out in the metro St. Louis area.
And in Wood River, they still have their standalone name, correct? Because of their branding down there?
They do. We're going through the process of trying to figure out how best to handle that. We very well may have to move. Our lease is up on our building in August, so we're either going to have to buy the building or relocate. So we're looking at different options there right now. But yes, it is a different company under the same corporate umbrella.
Well, with again in the Royal brand, again having been around for 100 years, and then when you bought the company, it hadn't quite hit its 100th birthday yet. But yeah, when you have a good quality local product that's got a name, a lot of guys will come in and buy a company, and hey, you could have named it Dan's Printing, but you opted, hey, let's keep the name because it's a good local name, a good local company, and we'll build on this business.
That's right. That's what we did. And at the time, I owned one in Hamilton under a different name. We switched the names, and everything became Royal.
And talking about how it's also gone over the years, when people started having printers in their own office, it used to be that you'd have to print for all these businesses and do all this work, but then everybody got their own printers, and it was even to the point where, in looking at your history, you would print the minutes of the city hall, of the city council meetings. You would print news scripts for WTAD radio. I mean, to go and look at what printing companies used to be back then, and now that, again, with that evolution, you are certainly one of those companies that you'd better adapt, or you're going to go the way of the dodo bird.
Yeah, and when you're talking back in that day, everything was letterpress. Yep. Okay, you were melting lead and setting type and setting it upside down and backwards so it would print right. We've come a long, long way. That preceded me, fortunately.
Yeah, that was a little bit before your time. I get that. So, how many people do you have working at Royal now?
We have 10 here in Quincy.
Okay, and so you've got that, and then in Macomb, a smaller setup, I imagine?
Yeah, just two. We have just a digital shop there.
Now, is Wood River its own standalone facility still, like you said? Okay, yeah. But you're going through some decisions there, whether you stay in the building or what have you. So, but looking at this, and this is all stuff that you have done here in the last few years, and this sort of expansion and growth. Is it something where you might continue to look at some other opportunities, or you're like, okay, I think we're in a pretty good place right now?
No, I'm the kind that we're still looking.
Good.
Okay. We recently passed on a really good opportunity. Value-wise was a good opportunity, but there wasn't a good book of business to go with it.
Right.
And so, you have to have some kind of book of business to help support the cause. So we walked away from that one, but we currently have. We're in preliminary discussions with a couple other places. And also we're adding in Hamilton, because of the digital things getting to be so big, we're adding a direct-to-garment operation in Hamilton where we can do a dozen T-shirts for a birthday party where the bigger production people don't want to mess with those small quantities.
Sure.
And we've had enough customers ask us, hey, could you do this? Would you be interested? Would you consider doing it? So in the next month or so, we'll be up and running. Trying to ramp up, Bob. It'll take us a little while, but that's our plan.
And when you talk about the things that you have to print, or you print the business you kind of get, you're doing books, you're doing calendar. Basically, hey, I need this printed up on a large scale. You can take care of that.
That's right.
Because our friend Ron Kincherf, you're printing his children's books.
That's right.
Those have been great.
Happy to be doing that.
And
he's got a good illustrator. His illustrator is really, really good.
They're doing great work. And he's a part of our family as well. So, I think when you look at, again, the printing business and out there, the location on Ellington Road, and again, people need to realize that in Quincy, there's retail business, but you've also got, a commercial operation just requires, because you don't have people just dropping by every day and saying, hey, I need this, hey, I need that. But you do, they can, but when you are a commercial operation, you really, again, it's about that service, and it's about, again, this is the hub, but the spoke extends out there. How far do you think the Royal Reach could end up?
Well, currently we're north of Burlington, close to Springfield, close to Kirksville, and then of course the St. Louis area.
Yeah, so
that's kind of our.
Yeah, you've got a pretty wide territory to cover right now. So, and again, I think it has when we talk about national issues and how they affect us locally, has the whole supply chain issue affected your business in any way?
Yeah, we got paper on allocation now, which is difficult because our allocations were based off the first quarter. So if you had a slow first quarter, and then every month that you exceed your allocation, that's deducted from your allocation. So your allocation basically shrinks.
Oh, wow.
And so we've added 2 other vendors to help smooth that out. So we have not had a problem getting paper, but it's getting more challenging.
And I'm sure the cost has kind of gone up a little bit too.
The prices are going up every week. It's constantly. you can quote a job today and tomorrow it might be different. That's kind of bad. We eat as much of that as we can, but you can only eat so much,
And has that been pretty consistent basically ever since the pandemic started?
No, just really since late summer this year. It was pretty stable until then, and then people didn't want to go back to work. Mills were shutting down. People were being paid to stay home, not to get political, but
right.
There's more openings than there are people drawing unemployment, but people it's hard. Can't find help, Bob.
So local, like you said, you've got 10 people who work for you. Could you add more staff if possible, or you think you guys are in a good place there?
We like to run a pretty lean operation, but we could use 1 or 2.
Sure, and I think we talk to a lot of business owners, and they are all pretty much the same way. Well, we're doing fine, but boy, if a good person dropped in our lap, we'd sure take a look at them.
Yeah, and we recently picked one up that was a good find. That actually came to us. That it's hard to find people that have any experience in that business.
Sure.
Okay, because it's gone from a craftsmanship to you got to be a geek really anymore, because everything's computer driven now.
That's very true.
Where people used to, craftsmen, they used to just tweak this or that and make it work, and it was consistent. But now it's a computer guy.
Yeah, and that's true. And again, us being in the internet business, that's very true. We have our own team of geeks, I guess, so to speak. So of course, a lot of people call me a geek too, so that's okay. So, well, Dan Asbury of Royal Printing, I appreciate our chat today. This was a lot of fun, and again, congratulations on your success and having a business that's over a century old.
We appreciate it, Bob. Thanks for having me.
All right, and that's going to do it for our Muddy River News Business Spotlight, brought to you by Case and Huff and Schlieder. Have a great week. Representing nearly 20 A-rated insurance providers, Case & Huff & Schlieder caters to most any type of insurance. Business, farm, home, auto, and health. For nearly 100 years, their team of experienced professionals is second to none in providing coverage for your insurance needs. Case & Huff & Schlieder will find the most cost-effective solution to your business challenges, and with their experienced agents, they know how to navigate the insurance markets. 100 years, an agency built on service, no matter what side of the river you call home. Give them a call today or find them on Facebook. Case & Huff & Schlieder, peace of mind since 1923.